A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ahsan Naqvi. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we are going to present Sura Al Qariah, which is Surah number 101 of the Holy Quran. Right. As usual, these are my addresses: my YouTube channel, O-Levels Islamic Studies by Ahsan Naqvi, my blog address ahsan-naqvi.blogspot.com, on which my notes are available. And today's passage of the Quran, which is Sura Al Qariah, is a part of Edexcel Syllabus IGCSE examination, Edexcel board examination. This is not a part of Cambridge examination or CAIE examination. However, in CAIE there is another surah on the Day of Judgment, which is Sura Al and both the surahs are quite similar in their topic. And if the students of Cambridge are going to listen to Sura Al Qariah, and in the same way the students of Edexcel are going to listen to Sura Al in the Cambridge syllabus whenever the video is recorded, I think both of them are going to support, both the surahs are going to support each other, and that will be an excellent preparation for the students from the reference point of view, and you will be knowing about the Day of Judgment very well. So in that way, this surah is applicable only to Edexcel board, but at the same time it is also useful for Cambridge examinations, vice versa. Over there, Sura Al is really beneficial to the students of Edexcel board. This is a syllabus code of Islamiat, and then syllabus component is 2.5, which is section B, and question question section is D, in which we have to explain a Quranic passage or a hadith, a 12-mark question, which is the most important one in the paper. So this question is also very important. 12-mark question. This is Sura Al Qariah, which is surah number 101 to 111 ayat are there in this one. We come to the point quickly. Basically, the main focus, the main idea, which is the part of your syllabus, is Akhirah. 2.5 is about Akhirah, which is the Day of Judgment or resurrection, and this surah is talking about the belief in the Day of Judgment, the belief in resurrection, the belief in Akhirah. So let me read out the translation first. Then in the meantime, I will go through the explanation which is given below this translation. Just understand the translation. If I feel that there are any words to explain, then I will explain them during the translation. Otherwise, the further explanation will be coming up in the lines coming now. This is Sura Al Qariah. Al Qariah. Basically, Al Qariah is used in Arabic in the meaning of a very, very big calamity. It is also in the sense of a earthquake of a very, very high intensity. It is used in something which shakes something very, very badly. In all these senses, the word Qariah is used. Al Qariah, the striking calamity. It will be such a huge calamity. So Allah gives only one word and gives the intensity of that day of judgment, when everything will come to its end. The entire life will come to its end. The striking Al Qariah. Then Allah asks a question. Mal Qariah. What is the striking calamity? what is this striking calamity? And then Allah further asked one more question, and what can you make know what is this striking calamity? Can you understand the meaning of this striking calamity? Can you imagine the intensity of this striking calamity, the total destruction and this earthquake, and all that, the destruction which is going to come to the whole world? Can you understand it? Mal Qariah, Wama adraka mal Qariah, Wama adraka. आप समझ सकते हो? Can you understand? No, you cannot. It means when Allah asks a question like this, Wama adraka, do you understand? It means that you cannot understand. You cannot imagine. This is beyond your imagination. Mal Qariah, Wama adraka mal Qariah. And what can you know about this striking calamity? You can't. Mal Qariah, Wama adraka mal Qariah. Yawma yakunu an-nasu kal farashil mabsus. Yawma, this day will be like, when people will be like moths, dispersed, scattered moths. Moths are the small insects that you may find them when it is the rainy day and there is some light, and these moths, they come around the light, and you can see that they are running around without any discipline, without any planning, and they are just running around. In the morning, you see that they are all dead. So that will be the day when the people will be like this, like moths, will be like moths, dispersed. They are running around and finally they die. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْإِينِ الْمَنْفُوشِ. And the mountains will be like wool, fluffed up, colored wool. I mean, the mountains will become dust, and they will become like a wool which is processed, which is very thin, fluffed up, and at the same time it is also colored. So I will explain you all these things later on. Then as for one whose scales are heavy, those whose scales or their tarazu, their weight of their good deeds are heavy, he will be in a pleasant life. He will be in a pleasant life. فَأَمَّا الْقَارِيَةُ مَا الْقَارِيَةُ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِيَةُ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِيَةُ يَوْمَ يَكُونُ النَّاسُ كَالْفَرَاشِ الْمَبْثُوثِ وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْإِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. Saqulat, saqil, bhari, heavy. Mawazinuhu, their weights of their good deeds are heavy. They will be in a bliss, they will be in the paradise, in a pleasant life. But for one whose scales are light, means that their sins are bigger than their good deeds, and Allah gives the judgment, they are going to hell. His refuge will be an abyss. Abyss is a ditch, something, a very, very deep ditch, where you cannot see any light, which is so deep that you cannot imagine the depth of this abyss. And their refuge means that they will be thrown into the fire of hell. And what can make you know what that is? The same question is coming up. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَهْ. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَهْ. What will be, let me go through this part of the ayat. فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. Those whose weights are heavy, they will be in ishatun radiyah, which is bliss, which is unending pleasures. They will وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. And those whose scales are light in their weight, means that their sins are bigger than their good deeds, and Allah gives a judgment against them. فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. For ummuhu, the word ibis is used for hawiya, but hawiya is much bigger than the word ibis. Hawiya is something very dangerous. Make you know what that is. Wama adraka ma hiya. Do you understand the meaning of this abyss? You cannot understand the meaning of this word because your imagination is a very limited one. You can only think about the fire of this world, but that's something else. Mama adraka ma hiya narun hamiya. Only a little introduction of this fire is intensely hot. But what is the intensity of this heat? We are unable to understand such things. Let me come to a little explanation now, because I have already given you a lot of explanation. However, a few things are important to write down in examination, because the concept of the Day of Judgment is also to be written down in the examination answer. Sura Al Qariah is about the Day of Judgment, which is Akhirah. Akhirah is also your main topic of 2.5, the main topic of the Day of Judgment. This is about it. It will be the day when human beings will be given life again. When the day announces, the human beings will be given life again. By the way, when a person dies, the soul, the spirit of that person is kept in barzakh. Barzakh is a place which is an interim, it is in between station before the Day of Judgment, and he is disconnected with this world, and he is still waiting, or she is still waiting for the Day of Judgment. In between, barzakh is there, where the spirits and the souls are kept, of the dead, of course, will be given life again, and they will be answerable for what they did in the worldly life. The Day of Judgment will be the day when the human beings will be answerable to Allah. Whatever they did in this world, they will be answerable to Allah. Allah will do justice, and everyone will be rewarded, either a punishment or a reward of Jannah. But that is the day, that is the introduction of the Day of Judgment, of the Akhirah. That's not the actual explanation of Sura Al Qariah. For what they really deserve, whatever they deserve, they will get it. The purpose, in this small paragraph, for one or two sentences, I would like to ask you to write down a few words why this Day of Judgment is important for us. You don't need to write a lot in the examination. However, right now I will try to give you a few words about the purpose of the Day of Judgment, which is also important from the questions that come in the examination. If you understand the basic things, then it will be much easier for you to write it down in the other answers too. The purpose of the Day of Judgment is to warn us in this world when we are alive. I'm so sorry. Warn us that we should spend our life according to the will of Allah. Now we are alive and we are in this world, and the purpose is a reminder that when you are dead, you will not be a useless structure of bones or rotten things. No. You are alive, not in your grave, maybe in some other place, in barzakh you are alive, your soul is alive, your spirit is alive, but there is alive. Don't think that death means that you are gone and finished and over. No, it's not over. You are still there. Should spend our life. Therefore, the lesson that we should learn from the Day of Judgment, the most important lesson, that when you are in this world, follow the way of Allah, follow the way of the Prophet. As long as you are following the way of Allah and the way of the Prophet, you are following the right path. But when you are not following it, remember that after this life there is no more chance. The chances are over. Then it will be either a punishment or a good life of Jannah. There are only two ways after death. So therefore it is a lesson to us to follow the way of Allah, whatever He wants, whatever the Prophet Muhammad wants. That is the life of a Muslim, so that we should enjoy unending pleasures and bliss in the paradise. Otherwise, we will face punishment that we cannot think of. There is no need to imagine such things. Being a Muslim, you are responsible to keep yourself away from that fire of hell and follow the way of the Prophet and follow the way of Allah. That is the only refuge. That is the only way to go out. This is the purpose of the Day of Judgment. One purpose. Beside that, the surah talks about, I did not talk about the other purposes because of the length of the answer. That is not directly. However, justice and the true justice, which is not there in this world, can only be given on the Day of Judgment. That is a part of it, but you don't. If you want to write down this one sentence, you can. However, I come to the point now of the explanation. Of course, that was also the explanation. This is only the introduction of the word Akhirah, the Day of Judgment. Now I come to this explanation. The surah talks about 3 stages of the Day of Judgment. Stage number 1. First, the entire life. I am not talking about the barzakh right now, after death. I am talking about the Day of Judgment, the proper Day of Judgment. The first stage is that the entire life will come to an end. Then a new life will be given and we will be accountable to Allah, and then either paradise or hell will be given according to our good or bad deeds. It's a long thing which I would like to explain to you. Well, there is a fixed day and date which has been fixed by Allah, on which the order of Allah, the command of Allah will come to the angel, and that will be the day of the end of this world. And that will be the day when there will be, let me see, right. That is only the summary which I gave you right now. First stage, the entire life will come to an end, and then the second stage starts when then a new life will be given and we will be accountable to Allah. That is the second stage. And then the third stage is this, that either paradise or hell will be divided to all human beings and to jinns too. But I am not talking about jinns, we are talking about human beings right now. This was the summary of these 3 stages. Maybe there is some explanation of these 3 stages in the coming words. The first stage will start from a massive earthquake. It will be an earthquake, Al Qariah. Al Qariah will be an earthquake. Sura Al says, Al-Zilzal is also the earthquake. Zalzala is also the word in Urdu. Iza zulzilatil ardu zilzalaha. When the earth will be shaken very badly, like anything. Anyway, Qariah is also earthquake. A terrible sound which we are given probably in the hadith is the word sur. Sur phuka jayega, which is a sound which will be, I call it a sound, some say trumpet will be, beaten or something like this, It's not so. I think the frequency of the sound will increase gradually, and that will become so intense that our ears, the ears of the animals, the ears of the nervous system of every living thing in this world will not be able to tolerate that terrific sound, and we call it sur. will create panic in the world. Obviously, when our life is in danger, when there is a bomb blast, there is panic. When there is heavy rain, there is panic. When there is some calamity, there is panic. So the panic will be of a very, very high intensity in this world. Allah starts the surah with such words which show the intensity of the word. Al Qariah means calamity or something that shakes violently. Allah says that you cannot imagine and understand the destruction of the day which I explained you earlier. Al Qariah, tum Al Qariah, wa ma adraka mal Qariah. Tum kya samajhte ho? What is the meaning of the word Qariah? Did you understand the intensity of this word Qariah? You cannot. This is just a little, a part of Surah Al-Zilzal as reference. Please give one or two references in your explanation, both the Cambridge students as well as the Edexcel students. When the earth is shaken to her utmost convulsion, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا, when the earth will be shaken like anything. Surah Al-Zilzal ka reference hai ye. On that panicky day, people will be like moths, which I explained you that in the rainy days they are running around, no discipline, they are just flying and running. Allah gives the example of moths because in rainy days we see moths in large numbers, but without any discipline, human beings will be like. In the same way, many details are given in the Quran. Mothers will not recognize their children, fathers will not recognize their children, brothers will not recognize their brothers, friends will not recognize their friends. Lot of details are given in the Quran. I have not given details because of the length of the answer, but that there will be a terrific kind of panic, and the people will be running around in order to save their lives. They will forget their relations, and ultimately they will be dead like moths. Everything will be dead. Human beings will be dead. Every life, the animals will be dead, the plants will be dead, and everything will come, the life will come to its end completely, and the earth will be silent, absolute silent will be there. Then Allah gives another example that mountains are such huge things. You cannot break a small stone of the mountain easily. But the mountains on that day, because of the intensity of this earthquake, they will become dust. They will become dust, and they will be like fluffy kind of a wool, and that will be a colored wool because the mountains have different colors. Mountains do not have one color. The mountains of Islamabad are the mountains. Or Karachi are different. The hills of Karachi are different from the mountains of Magla Hills. So therefore, in the atmosphere, there will be color, and there will be dust, and it will be means the mountains will also be destroyed. Such huge things will also be destroyed. The life will come to its end, and then the second stage will start after long silence. We never know, because only Allah will give the command for the second announcement of the Day of Judgment. Second sur will be blown by the angel, and then the life will come back. All human beings will be given order wherever their bodies are scattered in the atmosphere, in the graves, or in the wherever they are. But they will be given order that every soul is to be given a new life, and they will be given life again the way they came to this world. From nothingness, they became human beings and they came to this world. In the same way, a new life, which is called resurrection, resurrection will take place, and the new life will be given, and then the human beings will be answerable, accountable to each and everything. Whatever they spent, they will be answerable. Whatever the time they spent, whatever the money they spent, whatever the activities they did over there on this earth, even the smallest kind of a thing will be accounted for. Allah will ask and Allah will present. There are a lot of other details, and you know them very well, that there are two angels on our shoulders, with us, not our shoulders, with us. There are two angels which are writing down every good and every bad, whatever we do, whatever, even the smallest thing. Even if you give charity of 10 rupees to a genuine person, that will be written down. Everything will be, even the smallest kind of a sin will be written down. And this book of your amal, your deeds, will be presented on that day, accountable and answerable to what they did in their worldly life. Did they follow the way of Allah, or they adopted the way of Satan in this world, or Shaitan? In this world, you have got only two choices: either follow the way of Allah, or either follow the way of Satan or Shaitan, Iblis. This is your choice. This is your choice. You are free to go for the good deeds, the deeds of sawab, and you are also free to follow the bad deeds, your gunah, your Satan, the following the Satan, the Shaitan, whose mission is to take you down to the fire of hell. That is the mission of the Satan, Iblis. Shaitan ka mission ye hai that he will put you into the fire of hell, and it is your struggle to avoid the Satan and just deny him, just reject him, and to ask Allah to help you out and follow the way of Allah and follow the way of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That is the only way out for the day of judgment. Allah will have some kind of a scale. فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, we cannot, I don't know what is the meaning of the word scale, tarazu. We see the tarazu, the scales on the shops every day. We weigh things on the scales, but what scale, what kind of a scale, what shape of a scale, we don't know. Allah gives only a similar example, just in order to make you understand that I am talking about this concept, but that concept is not the real one. Means that we see scale every day in the shops, in our laboratories, in our homes, but that scale will be a different one. But that will weigh our deeds, the good deeds and the bad deeds. And then Allah will see whether the scale is heavy because of the good deeds, or the scale is light because of the light or because of the sins. Allah will see to it. And I don't know the procedure which Allah will adopt. We human beings are very, very inferior, and our minds are not able to, imagine all these things. However, Allah will even judge our intentions. With what intention? I committed a sin, but with a good intention. Because of my mistake, I committed a sin because I thought that it was right, but it was not right. Allah will see my intentions. I gave 100 rupees to a really poor man because I could only afford 100 rupees. But that 100 rupees, 1000 rupees will become, I don't know, millions or billions or whatever it is. And I gave 1 crore rupees, 10 million rupees to someone for the help, and my intention was only to show off to the world that I am a very generous person, and just bring your cameras and make a media show whatever I gave to the poor. Allah will not give in reward, Allah will not give anything because of that hypocrisy. But we are not aware of anybody's hypocrisy. It is only Allah that will judge us on the day of judgment. Even the smallest things will be given, and finally, when Allah will decide and give his judgment, then the people of Jannah will be sent they will be very excited. Their Nama Amal or their book of deeds will be in their right hand. They will be the happiest people, and they will be so happy, and they will be guided by the good angels to Jannah, and they will live there. And Jannah is a place where the blessings of Allah, where the good things of Allah will never come to an end, never. Rather, they will increase day by day, and it will be a place of unending pleasure, unending bliss, unending goods. That will be about the Jannah and the Jannati people. And this is a quote from the same Sura Al-Zilzal. Then shall any, by the way, you cannot give a quotation from the same passage which is given to you in the examination. Because if you take out something from your own translation and write it down in your explanation, it will not be acceptable. Underline, it will not be acceptable, because it is not your reading that you brought to your examination. It is only a copying and pasting. You took it from there and put it over there. That will not be taken as a quote. Remember this very important point, because I've seen students checking my papers. I've seen students that just take something from the translation and give it in the explanation. That is not acceptable by the examiners. You should remember something else from the Quran, from the Hadith, and you should quote it. Then shall anyone who has done an atom's weight, what is the weight of the atom? Nothing. But even that smallest deed will be judged, and that will be rewarded. And done an atom's weight of evil shall see it. Shall see it. It does not mean that when Allah will show me my sins, even my smallest sin will be shown to me, I will also be punished. Yes, my good deeds, even my smallest deeds will be rewarded, and that will go as my plus point for the Jannah. However, for my evils and for my sins, Allah will forgive my sins as much as possible. Allah never wants any human being to go to the fire of hell. Allah never. If human beings have decided not to follow the way of Allah, not to follow the way of the Prophet, not to follow the good in this world, what can Allah give judgment? I mean, we lose our own game in that way. And anyone who has done an atom's weight of evil shall see it, and Allah will, inshallah ta'ala, Allah will forgive us our sins, and we should try our best to follow the way of Allah and avoid sins. But the ones whose weight of good deeds will be light, will be sent to the fire of hell, which is Jahannam. It will be a place of fire that we cannot imagine. Hell will be a very deep pit, and Allah calls it Hawiya. Wama adraka mahiya. Do you understand the meaning of Hawiya? No, because you have not seen Hawiya. You cannot imagine. Allah says that we cannot understand the life in hell. God forbid us. God forbid us. Therefore, as Muslim, we should avoid sins. This is the lesson. And we should try our best to follow the way of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Allah is Rahman and Rahim. Allah is forgiving. Allah is very merciful to us. And inshallah ta'ala, Allah will forgive our sins. And inshallah ta'ala, Allah will send us to Jannah and save us from the fire of hell. Thank you very much for giving me time. I know that these explanations are very long, but please concentrate. They are only in your own benefits. Please also subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. God bless you.